Hello, welcome back to my channel. This is Ben Morales, your personal financial coach. Have you ever wondered what is a line of credit? How you can get one? What's the benefit of having one? Well, those are all important questions that you need to answer, especially when you're looking to pay down debt. So we always talk about on this channel, how you borrow is more important than the amount that you borrow and how you're being charged for it. So that's key. Having a debt weapon or a debt tool like a line of credit is a life-changing thing that you could have on your side as you take your journey to paying off debt. So want to talk really simply about what a line of credit is. So just keep in mind, in its simplest form, the line of credit is similar to a credit card. Um, if you have a credit card, then you know that as you use your credit card throughout the course of the month, you're only going to be making payments on the amount of credit that you actually use. Okay. Credit cards have a grace period. Lines of credit do not. They're calculated a little bit different in terms of how you make that payment. But lines of credit had a great advantage, huge advantage over credit cards. Okay. Let's say you were in a bind and you need to pay something off. You need some cash. You don't have any cash in the bank. You completely stripped. Now you have to make, let's say you have to make your rent payment. Typically, rent payments, you have to make them in cash or you have to make them with a check, a money order. You have to have something liquid at the banks for you to be able to make that transaction happen. Well, that's where a line of credit will come in. A personal line of credit will come in because although it's like a credit card, the big difference is that it gives you continual access to cash. So think about it this way. This is you, right? You, and here is the bank. Don't judge me for the bank, please. That's where the bank, okay, that's the vault. Keeping the money. The money is safe in the vault. So a credit line is just like it sounds. When you need that cash, you already been pre-approved with a certain limit with that line of credit. So as you need access, you go and you withdraw. And then you send it right back in the form of a payment. But like a credit card, you're only going to make payments on the portion that you use. However, if you were to try to get cash and do a cash advance on a credit card, which is something that I definitely recommend you do not do because you start to incur interest immediately, you would get charged a very, very high rate, over 20% guarantee very easily. Whereas a line of credit, most of the time you're going to find a line of credit, well, in today's market, in double digit numbers. As I've been doing my research, what I've found is the highest line of credit right now is about 15%. I've seen them all the way down as low as 9%. So that is the great advantage. It's immediate access to cash whenever you need it, right? And you only have to borrow as you want. Now, another neat feature regarding the line of credit is how interest is calculated. So unlike a loan, when you borrow and you borrow a loan, those loans are always front loaded. You hear me talk a lot about that, meaning that you're paying the interest portion of that loan up front. Those loans are amortized and lines of credit are not amortized. Lines of credit are paid on an average daily basis. Let me show you what I mean by that. I'm going to do a quick calculation. But let's say you have your line of credit in place. That's your debt tool. And now you're going to be using that line of credit throughout the course of the month, access cash, and then make payments back. So if you were to use that line of credit, we're talking about here Velocity Banking. So if you are a practitioner of Velocity Banking, you know exactly what I'm talking about and what this benefit is all about. Line of credit at 10%. Okay, you're looking at $2,000, or rather 200. You multiply that by 30. Okay, typically there are 30 days in a month. You're going to get 6,000. If you divide that 6,000 by 365 days, which are in the year, you're going to get roughly 16.4, I think like 37 dot 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 dot. So $16 and 40, let's round it up, 44 cents is what you are going to be charged on a daily basis for having used $2,000 on your line of credit per draw on that. But the nice thing about that is, as you're using, right, you're going to make those withdrawals, right? You're going to your line of credit, you're making the draws from your line of credit, you're using that money. You're also going to be making payments throughout the course of the month. The line of credit, you can pay whenever you like. Most people, and what I teach people to do is you make payments, okay, of your paycheck into the line of credit. So your paycheck being placed in the line of credit is a payment, and that impacts the average daily rate, meaning that as your income is being placed in that line of credit, you're utilizing it as if it were a payment. You're going to be paying less portion of interest throughout the course of the month. And that's the big difference, because it gives you access to that cash that you can't get when you're using a credit card. So I hope that makes sense for you. Please, if you need a little clarity, make comments, ask any questions that you like below. I'll be sure to answer them. But I also want to talk about how you can get a line of credit. Well, the sad news is that a lot of banks nowadays, they do not offer lines of credit anymore. I've been in the banking industry. Like I said, I've worked for 3 of the biggest banks in the United States, 3 of the top 6. And of those 3, only 1 now offers lines of credit. The other 2, with deep pockets, they do not. So you're going to have to do your homework. Okay, what that means is you're going to have to do a Google search in your area. You're going to look for banks. You're also going to look for credit unions. And there's a possibility as well that you might be able to find an online bank that will offer a personal line of credit for you to work with. So once you have that figured out, start making your plan of action, all right? You're going to have to focus on a couple of things. In most cases, you have to start building relationships. This is really important. I used to get so frustrated when I was in a bank because, my job at the bank was to try to convince people to join the bank that I was working with. And one of the questions that I would ask those clients, those potential clients, was, what has that bank done for you lately? Well, my question to you is, what has your bank done for you lately? A lot of people, they bank with a bank because that's where they opened their first account since when they were in high school. That's the bank their mom or dad told them about. That's the bank that supposedly is the bank for the community and things like that. Listen, if your bank is not offering you a personal line of credit or any kind of line of credits, I encourage you to start looking relationships elsewhere. Start doing your research. Start building relationships. There are hundreds and hundreds of banks out there that will potentially do a better job servicing you, helping you put the money work for you instead of just keeping it working for them. So you're going to have to take the time to find that out. Again, I'm building a resource that will help my clients to do that as well. So let me know if you like that resource as well. The next thing you're going to have to work on is your credit. So typically, right now, as I was doing my research, most of the banks are looking for a credit score of between 680 and 720. So that's one of the questions that, as you're doing your research and as you're starting to build relationship with the bank, that's one of the questions that you want to ask them is, what credit score do I need to get approved for a line of credit? You also want to find out what is their minimum, right, line that they will allow you. What is their maximum? Sometimes they'll make you an offer and they'll say, hey, you can get as little as $2,000 with a 640 credit score. $2,000 may or may be enough for you, but if it isn't, you're trying to get a larger amount, then you're going to need something bigger or greater portion of your credit score. So keep that in mind as well. So there you have it, folks. What the benefits are of a line of credit. It's a product that you really need to have at your disposal, especially if you are trying to pay off large amounts, or even small amounts of debt. It can speed the process of debt payment immensely. So if you need help with that, just ask any questions, put them in the comments. I'll be sure to get back with you on that. You could also reach out to me. You'll find my link down below the video as well if you have any other questions or would like to schedule a call with me. And I want to continue to do research for you all, so stay in tune for the next videos that are to follow in regards to lines of credit and other products that we are going to be discussing as the market continues to change. So until the next video, I do thank you for your time and for your support. Have a great day.